Welcome to the Lesbian Romantic podcast. This is Waking Up is Easy, Part 1. A small city completely changed in the course of a few days. We simply have never seen anything like this. It's the stuff we see in the movies. A wake-up call for all of us. It's the story we all cannot stop talking about. I don't think I saw any of it coming that week. I only remember being relieved to be back at work. 2 weeks of vacation in France with Audrey had been more than enough to make me feel antsy. "Back already?" Brittany asked after I'd walked in. I must have grinned, because she immediately added, "You're weird, Katie." "I know," I said, leaning on the reception counter. "But you love me anyway." "I do," Brittany nodded. "But it's not normal to be this relieved to be back at work after a trip to France. I worry about you." She arched an eyebrow and crossed her arms. "You shouldn't," I replied, "because I am happy with the way things are and I love my job. What's wrong with loving your job?" "Nothing," Brittany agreed. "I love my job, but I love my life too." "Why are the two separated?" I teased back. I fished my reading glasses out of my pocket and put them on the tip of my nose. "That doesn't sound healthy either." Brittany laughed. "I forget you're the therapist." "That I am," I said with my most charming smile. "Anything happen while I was gone?" "Absolutely nothing," Brittany replied, resting her hands on the office chair. "No new patients. You know nothing happens here, except for that sink clogging up again." "That's what I like about this place. Nothing unexpected ever happens," I said, and then immediately looked around to make sure no one had overheard me. I didn't want to be insensitive toward the families. I know," Brittany said, sighing. She plopped down on the chair and rolled it forward until she was positioned behind the desk. "Avoid the bathroom at the end of the hall. Just use the one by your office. The janitor hasn't fixed that sink yet." I walked into my office shortly after that. There was a small pile of mail waiting for me on my desk, but I ignored it. Working with patients in a long-term coma meant there was rarely anything urgent in the mail. That day, I must have started my round at 9 a.m. I always do. I like things being the same every day. As a therapist, I guess I would diagnose myself with having control issues. At around 9:05, I walked into the first patient's room. This is Gregory. He's 50 and had a serious accident 4 years ago. For a few months, his family had been hoping he would wake up, but they stopped doing that a while ago. I usually sit by Gregory's side for about 30 minutes. His wife, Annie, visits before she starts her day, and I make sure I talk to her for a bit before moving on to the next patient. That morning, Annie was a little upset. "My oldest daughter dropped out of college," she sighed as she threw her jacket over the chair. "Oh," I replied, careful not to approve or disapprove of her daughter's decision. "I don't know how I can keep these two on the right path without him," she nodded in Gregory's direction. I listened for a bit longer than usual, keeping all advice to myself. I can't be a real therapist to these people, unfortunately. I can only make their hours in this place less lonely. It's actually pretty surprising this job even exists. The only reason there's money to pay me is because of the generous support of a wealthy woman whose adult son is hospitalized here. She spent many hours by her son's bedside alone and found it to be grueling. So she decided to throw money at the problem. She told my boss to hire someone to sit with her son instead. My boss is a smart woman. She accepted the money, hired me and told me to sit with every patient in this building, but more importantly, with their families. Anyway, I won't bore you with my entire schedule. Let's just say I always used to go from patient to patient in a carefully crafted plan that allowed me to, and I'm using air quotes here, bump into visitors. My days were spent in quiet conversation and long hours of silence. Very little happened. That's what made it my dream job. I got to be there for people while also hiding from the world. I felt happy and safe that day. I remember that. I was content to be back where I belonged. But that wouldn't last for long, of course. Welcome to Freedom Crusaders, your trusted channel delivering the latest on the fight for freedom. We all know it's time to take back control in this country. On this channel, we explore where to go to battle first. Freedom Crusaders! Welcome to my weekly vlog where I share updates on things that catch my interest, spark my frustration, or simply piss me off. How do I look, by the way? Do you like my new haircut? My roommate hates it, but I think it's pretty cool, and she's insufferable anyway. Before I get started with some news that you will want to hear, a word about our channel sponsor this month, Forever Brilliant. Forever Brilliant brings you the supplements that you need to stay as brilliant as you are right now, forever. That's right, you're not going to be this fit, this sexy, or this smart as you age. Now is the time to invest to keep your brilliance for many years to come. I take Forever Brilliant every morning. I like to add a scoop to my morning coffee, but they offer Forever Brilliant as a sweet and cute gummy bear too. I haven't tried those, but I certainly plan to. I'm serious, don't think you're gonna stay fit and strong by getting your protein and working out. That is not enough. That is bullshit. You have to do more, okay? So get your first order in today and make sure you can keep fighting or fight. Exclusively on this channel, you can now get Forever Brilliant with a 30% discount using the code Crusader at checkout. Link is in the description below. Get Forever Brilliant today and become an even more powerful Crusader. All right, Freedom Crusader, let's take a look at what's been all over the internet this week. I got some things to say about the mainstream media too, of course, but let's start with the good, more reliable stuff first. Remember that teacher who got fired because she wanted to teach every student how to use a gun after school? Well, I have some great news. Not only did she get reinstated after taking it to court, she also quit her job because she got offered a better job elsewhere. She is going to make more money and teach these kids how to defend themselves, and she gets to do it at a private school closer to her residence. That is what I call an epic win for a fellow Crusader. Her GoFundMe is still up, and you can help her pay for those expensive lawyers she had to hire to defend her freedom. But we all know this is actually a shared fight for our freedom, so pitch in. We cannot put up with this shit. We need to fight back. We need to disrupt everything the establishment wants to impose on us. Next up, an exclusive update from the guy who got charged with animal cruelty for selling natural, grass-fed beef from cows he raised in his backyard. But first, Freedom Crusaders, I want to share with you an exciting update about my own battle to bring the latest news to you. You can now join me in the fight to share real, important news to Crusaders across the country. If you want me to bring you more news from the trenches, become a member of this channel today. Choose your freedom plan through the link below. My goal is to quit my lousy job for my lousy boss who is rich and woke as fuck and work for you, the people, instead. So expect more updates, more in-depth coverage, and more research. And I will share all of this exclusively with you. I'm actually about to release a 50-minute documentary with some pretty explosive revelations on chemtrails in the South. So now is the time to sign up, people. Okay, imagine getting arrested for providing good, honest food to your community. That is what happened to... Why did you send me this? This kid is crazy. She mentioned the center. I thought you'd want to know. Did she? I must have missed it. Did you even watch, Catherine? I did. Just on a low volume because I'm still sitting with Usha. Usha again. What is that supposed to mean? You know what I mean. She has no one else. They still haven't found her family. I know, but you can't fill up that space. I can. Narcissist much. You're not qualified to make that diagnosis. Tongue sticking out emoji. And I know I'm only making a small difference, but it's something. I thought you weren't supposed to get emotionally attached to these people. Come on, be kind. We just got back from our vacation. I was there with you for 2 weeks. You were... kind of. I don't want to get into a fight. Me neither. There's no point. I'll be home soon enough. All right. I'm going out for a run, but I'll see you afterward. Have a great run. 2 weeks of vacation dinners? Yeah, I swear I could tell the difference when I put on my shorts. I doubt you did. Wait. What? Nothing. For a second, I thought Usha moved her foot. Laughing emoji. Wishful thinking, unless she's about to wake up. Not funny at all. Doctor said she'll be here forever. Go run. Okay, talk to you soon, but watch that video. Something tells me it's important. Maybe pass it on to Maya. Sure, I'll watch it again. You know I won't, right? Love you. This was part 1 of Waking Up is Easy, a brand new story on this public free feed of the Lesbian Romantic podcast. I want to thank all patrons and members of the Bells and Whistles Theater, the creative home of this podcast, for supporting me, for helping me, and for encouraging me to produce this new story. So thank you to everyone around the world who has pitched in, often very generously, to help keep this podcast going. Part 2 of Waking Up is Easy will also be available on this channel immediately after the release of Part 1. All right, that is all for this episode. I will see you in Part 2 shortly on this public free feed. Take good care of yourself and see you in Part 2.